Hello, my name is Im, and welcome back to my channel. Right then, it is time for Series 4 proper. This is so exciting. And another thing I should be upfront about is that I do know this is Tenant's final season or final run or final series. So, of course, that's in the back of my mind. There is some lingering sadness about that because, I adore David Tennant, and I feel like I'm going to be quite a mess come the conclusion of this series, series 4 that is, but yeah, long time before that happens, though not as long as it used to take. So in that sense, I'm quite happy that I'm able to move on so quickly to the next series, and it's full steam ahead. But also, one of my good friends told me to skip the credits to this episode. Thanks for that, Em. So I'm definitely going to skip that. Right then, before getting into the episode, if you're interested in full length for this episode, now the full length is timer based, and the source is the Blu-ray, and it's going to remain the Blu-ray for the rest of the series or the rest of the show. Now, if you're interested in that, or maybe if you're interested in early access to the next episode right now, consider checking out the Patreon page. Now, of course, that is just an option for anyone who might be interested in more than the scheduled content on YouTube. And if you do end up enjoying this, please consider dropping a like. The likes really help the channel, and they really help this get noticed by even more Doctor Who fans. Consider subscribing to the channel. As established at this point in time that there is a schedule, so consider subscribing to the channel. And also consider checking out the pinned comment. If there's any updates, I usually update the pinned comment. And of course, the links to the Patreon page and social media are in the pinned comment. And, in terms of updates being in the pinned comment, I bring that up because Doctor Who is probably one of the more trickier shows in terms of, copyright claims and copyright blocks. It's usually a 50-50 chance anytime I upload one. So yeah, if there is an update about that, I usually update the pinned comment. Right then, I think that's more than enough for an intro. Let's just go right into the new series. I hope you enjoy. Oh, Donna! What a pleasant surprise. Oh, and look who's in pursuit. Look at those sideburns.
Donna Noble, Health and Safety.
Donna Noble.
John Smith, Health and Safety.
No exercise, no diet, no pain. Just lifelong freedom from fat.
Red flags.
But from next week, we start rolling out nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
The future starts here.
Highly suspicious.
Inclusive.
Thanks, then. Oh, what's that?
My telephone
Number?
number.
Yeah.
Health and Safety. You
Oh.
be health, I'll be safety.
I've been on the pills 2 weeks now. I've lost 14 kilos.
That's the same amount every day.
1 kilo exactly. You wake up and it's disappeared overnight.
Huh.
I'm not a cat person.
No, I've met cat people. Yeah, I like them.
Is that what it is there? Cats getting inside the house?
No. Yeah, that sounds like a creature. So essentially they're growing something, right? Inside the humans, perhaps. The ones taking the pills?
The adipose has been witnessed.
Come on. Ah. Ah.
Aye, here comes trouble.
Permission to board ships, huh?
Permission grant.
It's the same man from the Christmas special.
Was she nagging you?
Big time. All your
They're
family.
related, huh?
You really believe in all that stuff, don't you?
They're all over
You've seen
the
it.
place these days. You've had a funny old time of it lately.
Hmm.
There's poor old, what's his name, Lance, bless him.
Lance.
That balmy old Christmas.
He's real. I've seen him. I've met him just once.
He's met him too.
And then I let him fly away. I'll find him.
Oh, fascinating. Seems to be a bioflip digital stitch specifically for...
Yeah, I was gonna say, who's he talking to? The TARDIS? Oh, look at that shot. I mean, surely at this point they'll run into each other.
Foster. As in foster mother. And these
My children.
are my children.
I don't understand. From ordinary
Yeah, I can see that. Looking for you. That was great.
You've got the same suit. Don't you ever change?
Yeah, thanks, Tom. I'm all right now. Just like old times.
Partners in crime, right?
Because I thought
This is
how'd you find
great.
the doctor? Always right. It's always like this with you.
Oh, yes. And off we go.
Oh, she's on board now.
Seeding a level 5 planet is against galactic law.
Are you threatening me?
I'm trying to help you, matron.
Huh.
This is your one chance.
Right. He only gives you
If
one.
don't call this off, then I'll have to stop you.
Still on your own.
Yeah. Well, no.
Yeah.
That's when Martha, she was called. Martha Jones, she was brilliant. And I destroyed half her life.
What about Rose?
Still lost. Thought you were going to travel the world.
Easier said than done.
Right.
And then I woke up the next morning. Same old life.
Hmm.
It's like you were never there. And I tried.
And I've been eating like normal.
Yeah, you're about to
You like that? Yeah.
feel some of the side effects. I mean, they seem harmless. I mean, they are babies, essentially, right? Fat babies. And they are going towards a building?
Doctor, tell me, what do you need?
I need a second capsule to boost the override, but I've only got the one. I can't
Nope.
save them.
She's got one. Oh.
It's my lift
Home?
home.
Oh, he's about to hit the jackpot. No!
I am taking you home. Far across the galaxy, your new mummies and daddies are waiting.
What are you gonna do then? Blow 'em up?
They're just children. They can't help where they came from.
Oh, that makes a change from last time.
Right.
That Martha must have done you good.
She did, yeah. Yeah. She fancied me.
Mad Martha, that one. Blind Martha. Charity Martha. I'm waving at fats.
Exactly. Mum and Dad have got the kids now. They don't need the nanny anymore.
Hmm. You tried.
And I'm gonna report you for madness.
For madness.
See, some people just can't take it. And some people can. So then, TARDIS, come on! I packed ages ago just in case. Because I thought, hot weather, cold weather, no weather. It goes anywhere. I've got to be prepared.
This is different.
Would you rather be on your own?
No.
Actually, no. But
Hmm.
the last time with Martha, like I said, it got complicated.
Right.
And that was all my fault.
I like this.
I just want a mate.
You just want to mate.
I just want a mate.
A mate.
Not mate with me, sunshine.
A mate. I want
A friend.
mate.
I mean, you're just a long streak of nothing. You know, alien nothing.
There we are then. Okay.
I like that he addressed that.
I can come.
Yeah. Of course you can, yeah. I love it.
I like that shot. You can see the control panel in the background there. Go on, Doctor. Bring it in.
Right, it all makes sense. That bin there.
Blonde hair? How?
So, whole wide universe.
Oh my god.
Where do you want to go?
Oh, I know exactly the place.
Oh, that's beautiful. She found him, Grandpa. That's the guy. Right then, Series 4 proper. Now, I thought that was a great series opener. It did a great job of establishing the new companion, Donna, and such a pleasant surprise to see her back. I thought it was such a good move to open the episode, right off the bat. Show us Donna. So I thought that was a great choice there to introduce her back into the series right from the beginning. They firmly established this companion. It's clear to see that she's the new ongoing companion at this point in time, as compared to Martha in Jones and Smith, or Smith and Jones, sorry. There, the Doctor really established this is just one trip, and then I'm going to bring you back. So, they were kind of playing around or beating around the bush in terms of, or the Doctor was kind of beating around the bush in terms of her being the new companion in this case. But Donna is firmly established as the new companion, and I'm so happy about this. I just love that that a character like her is going to be the new companion. I think I've had enough of, the female companions falling for the Doctor or having feelings for the Doctor, right? And that playing a major role in that relationship throughout their run as companion. Now, I'm not saying it's not a bad thing per se, but I think I've had enough of that in two back-to-back companions. Now, Rose was firmly in love with the Doctor, and then of course Martha had feelings for the Doctor, and as the Doctor mentioned, things got complicated, right? And in that sense, I love how he actually addressed the situation head on, right? He understood that that wasn't fair, and it was his fault to make that or have that situation go on for as long as it did, right? So this time, some boundaries are established, some things are put out there in the open, like they should have been in the past, and the Doctor realizes this, right? And he regrets some of his behavior with Martha and how things kind of turned out, right, over the span of that run that he had with Martha, or that time he spent with Martha. And before I go any further, how about that ending though? That was so infectious. Her grandpa seeing her, and also realizing who the man is because he saw the man not too long ago in the Christmas special. Now I'm not sure how big of a time skip there is from the Christmas special to series 4, episode 1, but he's seen the Doctor and he knows, right? And you see it in his reaction, how excited he is for her, for his granddaughter to be with someone like him. And even for us, the audience, it's such a joyous moment to have the Doctor and Donna reunite, and set off on this new adventure together, right? Now, in that sense, like I said, it did a great job of establishing the new companion, the new long-term companion, and it also did a great job of establishing some intriguing plot points, right? The biggest one being right near the conclusion of the episode. Somehow they brought Rose back in. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to treat that as a, bombshell setup type moment. I'm not going to let that overshadow the episode, or the chunk of the episode, or the meat of the episode, that is Donna and the Doctor reuniting and now kind of teaming up and setting off on this new adventure together. So I'm not going to let that overshadow it, but it's incredibly exciting that Rose is here. Somehow she's here. I'll get into that in a bit. Now, to me, it feels like this series. In every series they'll have like a setup and a reoccurring theme that kind of slowly builds and builds towards the conclusion of the series. Last season it was Saxon and the drums, right? The beat of the drums, and of course that ended up being the master. And of course even throughout that series they set up the face of Bo set up "You're Not Alone" or "You Are Not Alone," and that kind of had this lingering, almost ominous thing above the Doctor and us, the audience, right? So yeah, I feel like this might be the new reoccurring theme of this series 4. Now, like I said, I know this is David's last series. And in that sense, I'm already down one episode, right? Series 4, episode 1 is already done. And the Christmas special is already done. So, I'm sure as it gets closer and closer, it's going to be quite emotional. I can just feel it right now. I can just, sense it right now that I'm going to be a bit of a mess. So yeah, I suppose in that sense, they are setting up some big moments, perhaps for the potential end game of Tennant's run and the end game of this series, right? They're bringing in someone who matters a lot to Tennant, or the Doctor, his Doctor. Perhaps she'll play a part in his upcoming end game at the conclusion of this series. Now, part of me also felt that, oh man, he, in this episode you see him kind of get over Rose and Martha, right? Rose in particular, right? And he's now establishing firm boundaries, and he's establishing upfront before bringing on another companion his needs, right? Essentially, he just wants a mate, right? He just wants a traveling companion. He doesn't want things to get complicated. He was clear about that. He was upfront about that, and he realizes he has to be upfront about that at this point in time. And I felt like there was quite a poignant shot inside the TARDIS. It's a shot of they've used that shot a few times now of the Doctor just by himself, alone in the TARDIS, right? Almost a moment of introspection, right? Perhaps he's thinking about how, or his treatment of companions, and and the reasoning behind bringing them on in the first place, right? And of course, before that happened, he finds himself kind of speaking out loud, almost forgetting that at this moment in time there is no companion, there is no plus one, and he's just kind of there by himself. So I thought that was quite an effective shot, actually. And then of course, later on, as Donna is quite excited to board the TARDIS and get going on this. The Doctor, he's a bit hesitant because he wants to clear things up. He wants to be upfront right? And perhaps, these are the kinds of things he was thinking about in that moment, that shot, that introspection perhaps about companions and the doctor. And, going back to Donna's grandpa, who was also in the Christmas special, I hope to see him again soon. You can already see that he could make for such a fantastic reoccurring character. I really do like him. He brings such an infectious energy to the series, and to Donna. I just love, one of my favorite scenes of this episode, or moments of this episode, are the moments she's having with her family, her grandpa specifically. Of course, there's a different dynamic with her mother, who's, of course, she's nagging her, as, you can't really blame her in the grand scheme of things. Mothers care for their kids, for their children. But yeah, there's one moment as Donna's sitting on her table, the kitchen table, and she doesn't even respond, right? She's just sitting there taking it in, almost kind of zoned out, as her mother just keeps nagging and nagging, and you feel that that shot or that scene is going on and on, right? From different angles, her mother finds different aspects to go on about, right? But then I love her relationship with the grandpa, whose name I don't know yet. Gramps is good enough for now. Again, lovely character, lovely actor, whoever that is. There's such a, I don't know, how do I explain this? I felt such a positive aura about him, right? And his facial expressions, his acting, it felt so natural and realistic to me, that he is this individual's grandparent and that he cares for her dearly, right? And in that sense, the relationship they have is so endearing, You could tell that he doesn't quite understand everything Donna might be going through at this moment in time, yet, he cares for her and he's in her corner, right? That's quite the individual to have in your corner, right? Someone like that, her grandpa. He cares for her. He urges her to, keep looking, to keep fighting on, right? To keep moving on. Don't stay stagnant, go after your dreams. So yeah, I really do hope he becomes a reoccurring character, and they've had that in the past, families of the companions being reoccurring characters, Mickey and Jackie being probably the two standout family members of companions so far in the series. Martha's family wasn't the most memorable in that sense, in comparison to Rose's family and the reoccurring theme or the reoccurring character aspect of it. But I hope I get to see him a few more times. I'm sure, much like past series and past stories, Donna and the Doctor are going to return to Earth for a few adventures, right? And in that sense, hopefully the Doctor gets to meet her grandpa again, and then they can kind of talk about how they first met during that Christmas special, on Christmas Eve. Now, before I do get back to Donna and the Doctor and, this new companion-doctor relationship that's about to take off, or has taken off at this point in time, let's tackle the bombshell, the major setup. I tell you, man, Doctor Who has managed to absolutely shock me and rattle me so many times recently, in quick succession. Going back to Gridlock and the face of Bo, telling the Doctor he's not alone, and of course that's set up nicely for the rest of the series and near the conclusion of the series. And then later on in Utopia, the Professor pulling out the watch. I look like, I remember going back to that footage, I looked like I saw a ghost. I feel like I had a similar reaction to Rose. I felt like I just saw a ghost. I was just baffled at the sight. Now, of course, the Professor pulling out the watch, and him, again, Professor Yana ended up being, short for "You Are Not Alone," and of course, that builds into him being another Time Lord and the Master himself. That was another shocker. And then, going to the finale, going back to Face of Bo, Captain Jack being the Face of Bo. Another moment, I was just baffled, just absolutely rattled, as you saw, just speechless, right? And once again, they pull the same thing here. Absolutely shocked me to see Rose. Now, right before that happened, I kind of clocked it that this has to be Rose, because at first Donna is just talking to some random person, right? But then, the camera lingers a bit too long on the blonde hair, right? And the fact that their face isn't showing. That's when I kind of clocked it. Oh my God, blonde hair. is this? And then, before I could even really, process that, she turns around and it is Rose. And that just floored me for so many reasons, And before I go any further, I hope, this revelation, this, bombshell doesn't I hope it doesn't overshadow this series and, this new relationship, doctor-companion relationship Donna and the doctor are about to go on, right? I really hope it doesn't overshadow that. It is possible that it could. And I kind of question the placement of this at the end of episode 1 because, it's a big moment. Now let's look at the situation. Somehow Rose has managed to show up in this reality, right? She has... clearly something's happened back in that timeline, right? That reality, alternative reality, that has allowed her to now come to this reality again. As as depicted, she kind of disappears, so she kind of goes back. So then you have to start questioning the reasoning for this, right? Is she here to just reconnect? I feel like it's got to be more than that, to set this up in this manner in Tennant's final season or final series. I feel like it's got to be more than just her. Just, wanting to reconnect and, to come say hi. I mean, of course, that'll be nice once they do meet up. And I'm sure they are going to meet up at some point in the series. I feel like there's got to be something much larger at play here. Perhaps something even ominous. Is she here to give him some sort of heads up, a warning, perhaps, of some kind of ominous being or ominous, danger heading towards him? So yeah, it is quite shocking to see that. Quite the shocker right from the beginning, right from episode 1. Now, I'm certainly excited, really excited to see how this is even possible, and that, Rose is back in, perhaps for David's final run. Now, again, this is just because they showed her in this episode doesn't mean she'll be showing up in every single episode, right? This is a setup, I feel like, for something major, perhaps towards the end of the series, like with Saxon and those things they do that that they sprinkle in throughout the series, and they build and then they kind of get showcased near the conclusion of the series as the big moment or the big conclusion of the series, perhaps, or playing into the big conclusion of the series. My only concern is that, I hope this doesn't overshadow Donna's run as the new companion. Because I am quite excited about this. Donna, or this type of companion, right? A female companion that is going to be a mate, right? A friend, a traveling companion, a proper, traveling companion. No strings attached. There's no baggage other than the actual physical baggage. And she's got quite a bit of it, and the doctor has to lug that in. But yeah, I'm so excited about this dynamic, and there's a chemistry there. She brings quite a fun dynamic to this. Doctor companion duo. I just really love that she doesn't have a crush on the doctor, right? That she doesn't feel the need to impress him. That she legitimately just wants to be a traveling companion, right? A mate. And in that sense, she really is the perfect type of companion for this doctor right now, at this moment in time. So I'm really excited about that. I am. That doesn't mean down the line, I'm completely against companions having feelings for the doctor, but at this moment in time, I think I've had enough of that, for now. Let's move on to a different dynamic, right? I even brought up the prospect of a male companion, for the doctor. So in that sense, this fits in perfectly. It doesn't matter if she's male or female, Donna, that is. She is going to be the type of companion I was kind of hoping for in my mind, in my discussion for the series 3 finale. That a female companion can be just a mate. And this time around, you see that there is a bit of a change in her demeanor, her personality, or her disposition. She's far less bombastic or flamboyant or explosive, right? There's certainly, after you could tell that her experience with the doctor, and then kind of refusing or rejecting that offer to come along, and then the subsequent time that happened after that, or just her experiences after that, she has changed a bit, right? She's mellowed out a bit. And I love the opening of the episode, both of them, the scenes being mirrored, both of them going into the Adipose, office building, right? Investigating. In that sense, it even kind of reminded me of Sarah Jane from School Reunion, the infamous episode School Reunion, right? A lot of things always kind of go back to that, and I, end up drawing a lot from that episode. She really reminded me of Sarah Jane, kind of going out there looking for things to investigate or getting in trouble, or looking for trouble, hoping that she'll find the doctor, and she did. She was on the right track. She did end up finding him. Again, I loved how that was set up. The near misses. It was also nicely choreographed. Great bit of directing there, and of course the payoff was just fabulous. It was so endearing, so infectious. Her reaction as they both clock each other, and the scene that plays out afterwards, that was just fantastic. I love that scene, and I've got to say Catherine Tate was, she was quite good in this episode, especially in that scene. She really sold it, didn't she? Her excitement. And of course, that back and forth, miming at each other, and I just thought that was a fantastic scene, and it was such a great payoff after the near misses in the first quarter of the episode, perhaps. Now, speaking of the antagonist, perhaps, of this episode, Mrs. Foster. Now, to me, it was quite clear that she's based on the character of Super Nanny. Now, I'm guessing around the time this aired, she was quite popular at that moment in time. And I've noticed that Davies likes to bring in these pop culture references and, things that happened to be hot topics at the time of writing these episodes, perhaps. I've noticed that for a few things. And, again, there's also commentary on social issues, perhaps, that are hot topics at that point in time. Obesity, perhaps, being one of them. Perhaps obesity rates might have had a role to play at that moment in time in society, in UK specifically. So he kind of built that into the episode as well in his writing, or obesity rates being on the rise, perhaps. So yeah, I've noticed he likes that quite a bit. I saw that with J.K. Rowling, and then I think a few other times, popular songs are used from that era. So yeah, he likes a reference or two, doesn't he? But yeah, Mrs. Foster. Yeah, I know the face. I've certainly seen this actress before, but I don't know the name. But I know the face, that's for sure. Now, again, going back to her being based off of the Super Nanny, I've seen my share of YouTube clips years ago of the Super Nanny, a few clips here and there. But yeah, Mrs. Foster, she has quite a precise manner of speaking, right? She's calm and she's composed, and she appears to be in control at all times, almost like she knows how things are going to play out, and you have to listen to me, right? Don't question me. So yeah, not the most memorable character, but a decent character at most. And of course, I really love that the alien presence in this, the Adipose babies, who, at first they're kind of jarring because of how cute they are. That's the reason I found them so jarring. But by the end of the episode, you could see how endearing they are, and it's so nice to see that an alien presence for once, or a lot of times you'll notice that the major alien presence is opposing the Doctor, or the Doctor finds himself on the opposing side, the antagonist of the story. But this time around, they're just aliens. They happen to be these adorable little fat babies, and there's no notions of death and destruction or conquest. They're just aliens, and they're just kind of out of the picture by the end of it. So I like that angle as well. That aliens don't always have to be, these insidious beings in this universe, right? So I like that concept here as well. And I hope to see more of that down the line. Right then, I think that's about it for this episode. I thought that was quite a fun episode, quite enjoyable. Really happy to see Donna back into the mix and actually, coming on as a companion. In that sense, it was a unique situation because it's not a completely new person, as Rose was a completely new person because, of course, that was the reboot. Then Martha was a completely new person, right, that comes in contact with the Doctor. But, you know, the really unique and cool thing about Donna being the companion is that she's been established already in this universe as a character, right? So it was so cool to see her, you know, established some time ago, you know, before series 3. Now, a series later, she's actually, you know, introduced back into the series, and now she's like the full-on companion. So, you know, I'm quite excited about that. So yeah, you know, series 4 proper, I'm really happy to be in there. But also there is a bit of a bittersweet, you know, moment here, because I know now, you know, I'm heading towards Tennant's, you know, final goodbye. But you know, I've got quite a run of episodes ahead of me, at least 12 more episodes, right? If this one is 13 episodes like usual. So, you know, I'm gonna savor it. You know, I love David Tennant, as you guys know. I'm going to savor every moment of this. So if you enjoyed that, please consider dropping a like. It takes a split second and you'll be helping the channel, and you'll be helping this get noticed by even more Doctor Who fans. And, you know, perhaps think of subscribing to the channel if you do enjoy the content. And if you're interested in full length for this episode, now the full length is timer based and my source is the Blu-ray, and it is going to stay as the source for the rest of the series. Or maybe you're interested in early access to episode 2 right now. Consider checking out the Patreon page and consider checking out the different listings there. It's just an option for anyone who wants to go, you know, beyond the scheduled content. And also please consider checking out the pinned comment. It's right at the top of the comment section. You cannot miss it. It's a good spot to have updates. And, you know, for this, it's quite handy because Doctor Who and the BBC are perhaps one of the more difficult shows to handle in terms of copyright blocks. It happens, you know, I'd say there's always a 50-50 chance of it getting blocked, right? And then you have to dispute it. But if in the near future other episodes do end up getting blocked, you know, I'll always have an update for you guys at the top of the comment section, the pinned comment, so please consider checking that out. Right then, that's about it. Quite excited to be back, quite excited to move on to the next series so quickly, and yeah, that was quite a good episode, I'd say. So thanks for checking that out. Thank you for your time, and I hope to see you again soon. Take it easy.